Hello, and welcome back to the stream where I play Champions Online and look at the story that we have available. Last time we were fighting Foxbat and his attack on the definitely not Anchorman universe main characters. I think that's certainly it's not the last time we see Foxbat, but it's certainly not going to be anytime soon that we see him again. Struggling to words a little bit there. I apologise. Next is Random Stranger, Collections Agents, and Jack Burton. So I think we're going to go and talk to Burt Jackson. Why do I have Cobra Lord's trouble here? I'm not sure. Well, let's go and talk to Big Trouble in Little China rip-off character Burt Jackson. Find out what he wants. He's going to introduce us to... Listen, when Dr. Destroyer or some other superpowered maniac has his hands around your throat and is telling you don't have what it takes, telling you you don't have what it takes to save the world, just remember what old Burt Jackson does at a time like this. Yeah, Burt Jackson stands tall and says, "You're about to enter a world of pain, Pinhead." Julie Morgan sent you, didn't she? Well, old Burt Jackson was planning on taking on all them Cult of the Red Banner creeps on by his lonesome. But as long as you're here, let's put those fancy superpowers to work, by which he means I will do nothing except tell you where to go and beat up people next. Hey, pal. Well, the bullpucky... When the bullpucky hits the fan, and the supervillains are threatening the world, and everything seems screwed up and out of control, just remember what old Burt Jackson does at a time like this. Yeah, Burt Jackson looks those bums in the eyes and says, "Yeah, buddy, if you can dish it out, I can take it. I can take every dang bit of it, and then come back for seconds." I don't know that that's how Jack Burton talked in the film. It's been a while since I've watched Big Trouble in Little China, but okay. The spelling issues also, the grammar issues also not helping me. These Cult of the Red Banner loonies are running wild in Millenium City, and old Burt Jackson ain't gonna stand for it. They just kidnapped a friend of mine, a green-eyed girl named Maya Zinn. Because of some mystic horse hooey, the cultists think if they sacrifice her, they're going to score points with some kooky old god they call the Death Dragon. You need to get over into the Chinatown alley behind northeast of the jail where Maya Zinn is being held, and send those creeps packing. Sons of the Death Dragon must pay. Okay, that's somewhat different from the plot of Big Trouble, in that the Maya Zinn equivalent character in that film was just going to be married to the villain. I say just. It's not consensual marriage, which is not something I would wish on anyone, but it's not quite the same thing as directly being sacrificed to okay, so we've got yeah. as I remembered. Because there's another quest that takes me somewhere over here, I think, to rescue another person. But the person I'm rescuing at the moment is just over here. So I was a little confused. But whilst we're here, we do also need to do what was it called? Dragon Brawl. No, Kung Fu Muscle. That's the one. The name of which is a reference to Kung Fu Hustle, a rather excellent film. Quest itself, not really all that excellent, just kind of meh. Beat up some dudes who aren't very nice. That's about the extent of it. Now these magician chaps can be quite annoying because they have a stealth ability. I think that was... he was about to use it then. Thankfully the powers that they have available are underutilized by the mobs. Oh shit, I didn't read her story. You came just at the right time. Technical issues. The Red Banner cult thugs say they are going to sacrifice me to something called the Death Dragon, which does show up later, actually, and doesn't seem to be terribly perturbed that we have prevented its, I don't know, snack, I suppose. How long are they? There we go. I need to deal with these guys before I rescue her. We haven't much time. Those Red Banner cultists are out for blood. You've got superpowers, right? Can you help me? Can you get me out of here? I certainly can. Thankfully, though this is a... Here he goes again. So, one thing that I'm thankful for is getting out this AoE attack early, so that it's still damaging him. Another thing I'm thankful for is that just like rescuing what's-his-face Kruger a couple of days ago, this escort quest doesn't require my constant attention. I can just clear the route and then wait for her at the end. Although unlike the Kruger escort quest, there are randomly spawning troll mobs who will threaten her if they see her. Thankfully, so long as you know the route and you follow it before she gets there, you can just go ahead and wait. And there's another guy that we need to take out, but probably got time, especially if I fly back. Completed two at once. Nice. That's their banner. I don't remember what the Big Trouble in Little China Death Gang banner looked like, but it probably looks something similar to that. Next quest is over here, and it is Cobra Lords defeat the big burly buff dudes who are on steroids or something. I forget exactly what's going on. So, what is the text? The Cobra Lords. Hopped up on steroids, randomly starting fights. Go and beat them up. Okay, can do that. What's really amusing to me is that he's incredibly buff, and yet he's got normal-sized gun models in his hands, so it basically looks like he's just pointing a finger at you. Or he's using teeny tiny toy guns. Still got this guy to deal with. Okie dokie. There's another few down here, yeah. One that's just fighting one of his own friends. That's another thing I kind of like, is if they start a lunge or jump attack and die just after they initiate it, the body will still hurl itself at you, despite not technically being, well, alive or conscious. I'm not sure which it's supposed to be. Given the severity of the attacks that you can use on these guys, strictly speaking, I suppose it should probably be killing them, not just rendering them unconscious. But given the theming of, oh right, yeah, it's not her that I need to hand that into. Given the theming and the fact that you see the gang leaders in prison later, I'm going to assume that we're knocking them unconscious somehow with high-powered electrical attacks. Thank you for helping out, Technical Issues. The shopkeepers are happier, and so am I. I don't want to see the red banner with the financial clout to grow any further than they have. Okay, so that was Kung Fu Muscle, wasn't it? When I was dealing with racketeers. I've also got Random Stranger to hand in. Picking random fights in the street with strangers? Honestly, did they think we'd just let that happen? Well, you kind of did. You told me about it, but I'm not affiliated with you. I'm just helping you out. The streets of Westside are safer now, thanks to you, Technical Issues. The MCPD appreciates your help in putting these guys out of commission. Maybe they'll think twice before starting random acts of violence. Maybe. So, I know that I'm high enough level now to take these, but I think I'm going to stick with taking them in order. Organised crime boss, Frankie Zaretti. That's the name. He's the Cobra Lord's leader. Frank Zaretti. Runs an underground pit fighting ring where high rollers come to bet on superpowered combatants and watch them beat the stuffing out of one another. More than a few of these underground fighters have been permanently injured during these brutal fights. We've pulled a few bodies from the Detroit River we think are former combatants, but we don't have the evidence to implicate Zaretti. We suspect the information is in his computer system, but there's a problem. The ring is filled with superpowered thugs my guys can't take down. Can you find the evidence? Technical issues? Yep. Catching purple red-handed might be another one we can reasonably take and not accidentally rush the story. Well, I say story. Story such as it is in an MMO. We've just uncovered a new Purple Gang plot to steal high-tech items from a construction site southwest of the crane accident. Go to the construction site and defeat 25 new Purple Gang members to prevent them from completing this criminal caper. When you're done, give your report to Special Agent Kodiak. He's been keeping tabs on the new Purple Gang and will want to know what they've been up to. Hopefully they're just trying to steal these to sell on the black market and aren't trying to construct another weapon. Okay. That mission actually looks kind of horrific. Because it's one of these tower cranes, but bigger, it looks like, because, like, this is the scale of frame for this crane. Right, you can tell it's a crane, and you can really tell that you can still tell that it's a crane from a distance because of the shape of it. But this, I don't know how big this crane was, but it has fallen through this building. And oh right, yeah, this is the construction site. So I don't even know what the crane was standing on at the time. I mean, it looks to be basically just a scaled up version of this smaller one, except there's two of them. So a pair of gigantic cranes that I don't know what they would have been standing on, or how the Purple Gang without superpowers managed to topple them over like this. But still, the new Purple Gang has pushed a pair of huge-ass construction cranes over into this apartment building. I mean, who knows how much death this has caused. This is probably the single most destructive act that the city has seen since the Kular invasion. Maybe, depending on what the Kular actually did and how they attacked, maybe this is more so, because, like, people would have been at home. This is quite a large area of the thing to have been struck, isn't it? Like, and I realise that this is a game, and structurally this apartment block is just fine and still standing, but this kind of damage on this scale, you would think it would have brought the whole side of this down. Just completely destroyed half of this apartment block. Anyway, we've got a fight club to disband, led by Frank Zaretti, just in here. And then this is the Cobra Lords more or less dealt with. We will briefly see Frank Zaretti himself later, and some members of his gang at the culmination of the West Side quest lines over here. Although technically I suppose we're not really supposed to be able to see that huge red column of light yet, because that event won't be happening for a while, but that's where it happens. Did I tweet to tell people that I was starting to stream? That's awkward. It's been 25 minutes. Do excuse me whilst I sort that out. That's a patrol. It's kind of annoying, but it's not such a big issue at the moment because they only patrol up to the entrance here, so I can safely leave that. Actually, do I have the means to tweet about the fact that I am streaming from within the Twitch app? If there is a way, I can't see it immediately, so I will do it the old-fashioned and slow way. I apologise to watchers of the VOD. I mean, I know that I don't have any viewers at the moment, but if anyone watches the VOD, I apologise that this is terribly boring, and I should have remembered to post about it before I started. There we go. It is done. And now I can continue beating up the bad guys. I will be attacking these guys from here, because if I cross this threshold, I will start an unskippable cutscene, and I don't want to do that whilst there are patrolling dudes. I think that's it. I think that's all of them. So
I want more recruits training ASAP. More recruits means more fighters. More fighters means more money.
I don't know that it does.
And more busy cops. We got a bargain to keep.
Okay.
So I'm only gonna say this once. No stupid hero's gonna ruin our little operation here. Do I make myself clear?
That's lucky. I'm not stupid. Well, my superhero isn't. I think the jury is still probably out on whether I myself am. So, this is what one of the main bad guys of the master villain, so 3 health bar dudes of the red banners looks like. They're thematically almost identical to Lopan or Hypan, whichever of the ones it is that is in this game as opposed to the Carpenter film. But they don't have his health bar and they don't have a bunch of his abilities. Which is just as well, because he is a bit of a pain to deal with. Although actually when you fight him, he's got help during the encounter. Which sort of skews things his way. And makes the fight overall more difficult than it probably ordinarily would be, as you might expect. Oh, there was also items. So you'll notice that we've just been fighting some Purple Gang members and some Cobra Lords, and we've also got Black Aces dudes over here. So clearly these illegal underground super fights are a huge draw to the gangs of the city. Gang members. I don't know that we actually fight any, other than the Cobra Lord and the Black Banner, or Red Banner, sorry, dude who were fighting in the ring when we got here. The guys who show up later are pretty unique, and I don't think that they show up again. So I mentioned that the Black Aces is one of the two of the 5 gangs of Millenium City who have female members. The others being the Maniacs, and the Queens of Pain in the Black Aces are higher rank than the Slashers in the Maniacs, so good for them, despite being based on a film that had some problematic issues. Now, I don't know whether Clockwork Orange was a book first. But certainly the film had a problematic relationship with women, simply by virtue of the content. Now, the mechanic, I don't know, he probably is a Cobra Lord, but he doesn't obviously display any leadership. Oh, does he? Oh, yes, he does. He's got the Cobra Lord vest on. Now, this guy, Professor Annihilator, I'll give you 2 guesses as to who he's inspired by. Dr. Destroyer. Now I know that Chief Surhoff said that sometimes they fish the bodies of unsuccessful combatants out of the Detroit River, but I don't feel very much sympathy for a guy who styles himself after a man who wiped a city off the map. Next guy is Black Mace, who, again, like Professor Annihilator, doesn't seem to have any affiliation. Yeah, that doesn't actually bother me. So, because he's a melee fighter with some ability to jump and hurl pieces of debris, most of his attacks, like the one he was charging up just before he was defeated, were player-based area of effect, so because I was flying and out of range, I didn't especially care. I don't know whether it's necessary to defeat every enemy in the mission area to complete the mission. I don't think that it is, especially because I've defeated all these other dudes on the list. But I'm kind of a completionist when it comes to defeating mobs in missions, if only because that's sweet XP. But I am going to be going through the whole thing defeating dudes, but it's not such a big issue because there's only 2 other rooms besides the one in which Zaretti can be found, and I'm almost done. There we go. Now, this Zaretti fight is going to be fun because, as I noted previously, this is a fairly small room. It's full of dudes, and oh, there is actually a window here. In the previous version of this map, there wasn't. So this dude standing here, cheering, would have just been standing looking at a wall. Zaretti himself is similar to the Black Mace in that he jumps at you and uses AoE, but he's more dangerous because he is a full supervillain. And also, none of my powers really lend themselves, because they're all AoE, they don't really lend themselves to careful pulling of enemies. So it might actually be a case of just pulling the whole room deliberately and attempting to do them all in quickly enough that the damage isn't an issue. However, I will try and just get this guy with my energy builder power, so that I'm not risking chain lightning jumping, just to make things a bit easier, because he is a villain, not just a henchman, so he's got more health, does more damage, but the rest I can't really avoid pulling, so here comes Zaretti. No chain pulling from you, please. Thank you. Well, that went easier than I was worried that it might. Probably thanks to the fact that I do huge amounts of damage. Now, interestingly, this appears to be two tables placed almost on top of one another, one of which has the quest objective shininess, the other of which doesn't. Anyway, let's continue. Copy the incriminating evidence. There we go. Hi. Glad to see you here. I only just noticed. I hope you weren't waiting for me to respond. I apologize if you were. The phone that I'm looking at my chat on is closer to my field of vision, but not perfectly within it. I don't have a better way of keeping chat visible. Oh, cool. Well, welcome. Yeah, I don't have a second monitor. There isn't space on the desk for it, and I also don't have a spare monitor, so I just have to use my phone. So I just beat up the second crime boss in the west side. I think I defeated Zoe Loft on Monday, because I don't remember doing it on Wednesday, unless I did it really early. Regardless, I have a quest to hand in. Although I think I will just hide the non-story related. Well, I mean, Cobra Lord's Trouble technically is a story quest, but it's a separate one. It's one that you can pick up at any level. And I think it's event-based, so it's not always available here. So I'll just carry on as before. Thank goodness you're one of the good guys. Yeah, it probably is a good thing that I'm not a menace to this society. This character is kind of powerful, or certainly will get more powerful. Well done, technical issues. I'll be happy to see fewer unfortunate people headed to the morgue because of this brutal entertainment. Yeah, same. What else do I have to do? Big trouble in... Oh, just not even in Little China, just Big Trouble. Okay. Let's go and do... Well, hand that in. And once I've done that, I think I will get another quest that will take me to roughly the same area that Catching Purple Red-Handed takes place in. So, listen, when Doc Destroyer or some other superpowered maniac has his hands around your throat... Oh, I've already read this one. Well, I guess you and me showed them Red Banner jerks a thing or two. Put her there, pal. Old Bert Jackson ain't gonna forget this. Well, it wasn't really you and me, it was almost exclusively me, because you just stood here. That's fine. Lin Chi. Hey there, technical issues. One of my good friends in Chinatown, Lin Chi, just called me, worried about a cousin of hers who is in trouble with the cult of the Red Banner gang. I mean, do you need to say cult and gang? Like, you could call it Cult of the Red Banner or Red Banner Gang. I don't know that you need it all. Oh well. Now, I told her not to worry, because Bert Jackson's got her back, and I'll send some help her way. Lynn is waiting for help at an intersection in Chinatown, northeast of the docks. Times are wasted. I don't know that I could really do windowed mode, because If I had chat... Oh, well, I suppose I could limit the area that OBS is looking at on my screen. But I haven't tried that. Maybe I'll try and set it up next time. So thank you for the idea. Right. Sorry, itchy nose. Going to talk to Lin Chi over here. I don't remember the names of the characters in Big Trouble in Little China, so she's probably a reference to, well, in fact, almost certainly a reference to one of the characters in Big Trouble, but I don't remember the names of the characters besides Jack Burton. But that's why I have my tablet here, so I can look things up. Miao Yin. Lin Chi. Heard stories about you, technical issues. We've helped clean up West Side's street. You've helped clean up West Side streets. Unfortunately, there is still much to be done. But Jackson sent you. I knew if he knew about my cousin Kwan's predicament, he would send somebody to lend a hand. Now, I'm no expert on pronouncing Chinese names, but I probably pronounced that incorrectly. Miao Yin. It doesn't look like the names of this character or the one we're being sent to rescue are a reference to the person who got stolen or kidnapped in Big Trouble in Little China. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the limit of the references. Quandary of Quan Chi. Is it Juan? Juan? Yeah. Billy Kwan's Kung Fu first lesson free always. So presumably this is Quan Chi's father, or maybe her uncle, because technical issues. I'm terribly worried about my cousin Quan Chi. Her father, my uncle, is a clan lord for the cult of the Red Banner, and he did not take kindly to the news that Quan has fallen in love with Anton Romero, a member of the Maniacs gang, one of the Red Banner's biggest rivals. Yeah, this is a Romeo and Juliet quest. Thankfully, it's pretty short and also fairly easy. Quan wants to run away with Anton, but my uncle intends to keep Quan in Westside, by force if necessary. Quan is more like a sister to me than a cousin. Will you please make sure she is safe? You can find her northeast of WCOC television station in a building courtyard. She's got awfully good information on the location of her cousin, and she seems to be fairly competent. I mean, she's got a wakizashi on her belt there. You would expect her to be able to handle herself in a fight, or at least threaten people with the knife. So I'm here just to beat up some purple gang members who just caused a gigantic pair of cranes to fall into an apartment building, so I don't really feel terribly guilty about electrocuting them with chain lightning. I mean, I did look at this earlier, but, like, this is the standard crane model in the game. It's got weights at the bottom and a big arm up here with more weights. And this is what the purple gang caused to fall into the apartment block, causing fires and destruction. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the purple gang's leader, Kevin Poe, was intending to set off a psychic bomb in the city, which it was unclear whether the bomb would only target people with superpowers. I mean, that was his intention, although Kevin Poe himself has superpowers as well. But there was concern by quest givers that the psychic bomb would also just affect everybody within the radius. Now, I'm not saying that clearly the whole gang is responsible, because actually what happened was Kevin Poe hired a guy called Wayland Talos to build the Psy-Bomb. I don't know that the gang members themselves actually had very much to do with the process. And I think walking through the hideout, we overheard them worrying about the effects of the Psy-Bomb. But the Purple Gang, or the new Purple Gang I should say, is a very dangerous organization in the city, and it's only through the intervention of the superhero character that we're playing, the self-insert, or no, not a self-insert, but the player insert character. It's only through their intervention that a huge swath of the city didn't get brain blasted into having a sort of psychic lobotomy from this location. I don't know what sort of range it would have had, because he was talking about hitting all the citizens of West Side, but this is the divide between West Side and the affluent section of the city, and the gang's location is right here, so I don't know what he was planning. Like, would the psychic attack not have gone up the concrete wall somehow? Like, I imagine it must have stretched probably, like if he was hoping to get West Side, it would also have gone an equal distance this way as well. Anyway. Oh, wow. NPC chat, keep your eyes peeled. We're not leaving any witnesses alive. Yeah, these guys really are not sympathetic at all. There's another mission here, where we're supposed to go in and put out the fires and rescue people. A crane fell, and now I've got people trapped in the rubble. Not a moment to lose. Please help, technical issues. A construction crane, well, I think it's 2 construction cranes, but a construction crane collapsed, and now I've got people trapped under the rubble and fires burning out of control. Could you please help us with putting the fires out and destroying the rubble to get the trapped civilians free? I don't have time to call any more help. If we don't move now, we're going to have a massive amount of casualties on our hands. Here is a fire extinguisher to help put those fires out. Yeah, I'm sure that a small bottle fire extinguisher is going to help a lot against raging wildfires. But, sure. Fun thing to note, if you have ice powers, you can directly attack these fires. You don't have to rely on a small spray. Fire extinguisher. I don't know how electricity is supposed to break rubble without also endangering the life of the civilian underneath, but yeah, cool. Just stay standing in the fire, cowering in fear. I'm sure that will help. You're not even under the rubble. So they had stuff like this in the tutorial initially when the game was first made, but they took that out for simplicity's sake. I don't know why they're leaving through. Like, why? Come on, guys! I opened a route that way. Why are you running this way? Now, if I stay here, these things will just keep spawning, so it will literally never end. Whoops, don't actually want to attack the fire, I want to attack the rubble. But I'm the kind of weirdo who... Oh, come on, I've got a target. You... There we go. I'm the kind of weirdo who sticks around and helps NPCs because... they are in-game representations of real people, and I wouldn't just leave people in a burning building if I had superpowers and a tiny fire extinguisher to help them. There, that'll do. Thank goodness you showed up when you did. Technical issues. You really saved the day. Right, we're rescuing Quan Chi, who is over here. Being menaced by an assassin and a thug. You would think if he wants to keep his daughter in Westside, he wouldn't send an assassin to look after her. I mean, like, literally look after, not look after her. Yeah, I can't leave NPCs in any game, so like the clearest memory I have of it coming up is, well, the first clear memory I have of it coming up is in Fable. I wouldn't hurt the villagers or like, because you could, if you felt like it, kill villagers so that their houses would come up for sale, and then buy the houses to rent to the new villagers who spawn in. My cousin Lynn sent you? Thank goodness. My father is terribly angry with me, but how can I help who I fall in love with? West Side Story. Yeah. They're not shy about these references at all, are they? My father may be clan leader of the cult of the Red Banner, but he's not the boss of me. I can't control my heart, and my heart belongs to Anton Romero, not the cult of the Red Banner. Please get me out of here, technical issues. Again, this is a relatively easy escort mission, thankfully. In that you just have to clear the route and wait at the end where she finishes to meet her. Also, thankfully, she's not completely useless. She can hold her own, well, sort of hold her own in a fight. Yeah, I assume that the assassin was sent to scare her, not actually kill her if she refused to cooperate. But you never know. You can also, I think I've mentioned before, although I don't know whether you were here for previous streams or for when I mentioned it at the time during the stream, you can recreate pretty much all of these models with the character customization options. So you can build yourself a Quan Chi if you want, and even use the same powers. So I suppose you could be an alternate universe Quan Chi who has come to this universe. These guys are from Viper, so they're sort of a Cobra stand-in or equivalent. And they're not actually part of the quest, but she walks past them on the route that she takes. She ends the quest over here somewhere. And I think that they will attack her if she walks by them, even though... Oh, have they changed it so you actually have to stay relatively nearby? Or is she stuck? If she's stuck, I'm going to be very annoyed. Luckily, if I drop it, I just have to... Oh, she's even staying in the same place, not resetting to her previous location. Okay, good. Are you going to... No. Okay. Hopefully that's not bugged, because there is more quest after that. The next hand-in is over here. I've done this quest a lot because I have a lot of alts, because I'm an altaholic. And it... Admittedly, I haven't played the game since... well, when I came back to it last Friday. Before that, I hadn't played it in about 6 or 9 months, so this might be a new bug, but... Hopefully it's a one-time thing, not a permanent thing. And I guess I could zoom over here and handle the quest whilst I'm waiting. There's nothing I like hearing about more than a foiled plot of the New Purple Gang. With you in town, they aren't going to get away with much. The chief was right. It looks like they were trying to start assembly of another weapon, but the pickings are slim since we've been keeping track of them and stopping their plans. Now, keep it quiet, but it seems like they've been contracted to build that thing, technical issues. What thing? I've been compiling a confidential report for the chief on the gangs in Westside, and what I've found isn't pretty, technical issues. Westside has always had a low-level gang war going on. The instability was good and bad for us in the MCPD. I thought he was supposed to be an FBI agent. Now we're seeing more and more cases where the gang started working together. The New Purple Gang building a weapon to stop superheroic interference in all of Westside is just one piece of the larger puzzle. If these guys team up against us, we're in big trouble. It's all in my report. Take it to Surhoff and keep quiet, or this neighborhood could explode. I would say hopefully not literally, but this is a superhero universe, so maybe it could explode literally. Let me see that report. This sounds very serious. I'll owe you big time after this. Oh, this is the same text he said during the tutorial. Rescue the researchers. After the QLAR invasion, many scientists were called in to look at the QLAR technology. The efforts to study that and recover pieces continues even today. However, the Black Aces seem to have taken an interest in this process. They've kidnapped a number of researchers hired by the city. For what? I'm not sure I want to know. All I can be sure of is that it won't be good for my people if the Black Aces force some poor scientists to make them high-tech alien weapons. We've tracked them to a warehouse district here in Westside. Find those researchers and help them get out of these safely. It's probably supposed to be there. Detroit River bound. I've just recovered and received an urgent report by one of my officers in the field. Technical issues. The Black Aces are rounding up the officers who were guarding the high-security storage bunker, tying them up and dumping them in the river. What's more, they've got members of other gangs helping them. We need some help freeing our men and dispersing this group of criminals. Yeah, I'm not fond of the American police by any stretch of the imagination, but tying them up and throwing them into rivers is... Well, I imagine there probably are some real-life members of the police who could do with a bit of a dunk, but ineffectual police, like we've got here in this superhero universe, who just stand around, not really doing very much, probably don't deserve drowning. The Black Aces have gained access to the high-security storage bunker. This is where we ended up putting all of the QLAR technology we cleaned up after the invasion. Now, while scientists have been taking out the odd piece to study, everything has been in lockdown until it can be moved to a more secure location. Some of the gangs already got their dirty mitts on items right after the fight, but we cleaned up all we could. I don't think I need to tell you what a bad idea it would be if the Black Aces got a hold of any more QLAR weaponry. Head down there and put a stop to their pilfering. Technical issues. Sure thing. Now let's go back over here. Let's see whether Lynchy has respawned. The game seems deeply confused. go back to Quan Chi? Or is it Lin Chi? No, I don't remember. Ah, she's back. Jolly good. Hopefully now I can rescue her properly. Oh good, she hasn't gotten stuck where she was before. I'll be able to continue this quest chain. There we go. So, let's go and hand this in to Lin Chi. Oops. Of course, we're stuck on the electricity cables there. Thank you so much, technical issues. Quan and I are more like sisters than cousins, and nothing is more important to me than her happiness. I'd forgotten about this name. Throwing star-crossed lovers. Yeah. Okay. Quan and I have a plan. We're going to help her and her beloved Anton Romero escape gang life and get married. I've written a letter outlining our plan, but since Anton is stuck in the middle of Maniac's territory, I can't get it to him. But you look tough enough to take on any Maniac. Would you mind bringing Anton the letter? You can find him hanging out near the basketball court northeast of the docks in Maniac's territory. Yeah. What level are you? You're level 30. And the Maniacs in the docks don't go higher than... I want to say 12, maybe 15 for level. Like, that's 10. And the guy that we'll be fighting later, Rid Len, is 14. Like, she's more than double the level of anybody that we might need to fight. At level 30, I would just steamroll these guys. Like, this guy, so sure he's a master villain, but he's level 10. He's not a going concern for someone that's level 30. Does this not act like a... No, it doesn't act as an energy builder anymore. I wonder why. Anyway, you can see you have a kind heart, technical issues. Unless my beloved and I can escape gang life, we are destined to have broken hearts. And given the gang life, probably broken other things as well. Thank you so much for this letter, technical issues. Could you deliver my response to Lin Chi? Or to Lin? She can make sure Quan gets it. Okay. Let's go. Oh no, that is the right one. She just didn't load in. There we go. Thank you so much, technical issues. I'll be sure that Quan gets it as soon as possible. Thanks to you, Quan and Anton will soon be together. Sure, I have relatives in the cult of the Red Banner, but I am a firm believer in tough love. That's probably about the appropriate response. The maniacs and the cult of the Red Banner are as different as night and day, but they share the same code. They both respect force, and if you defeat two of their leaders, Maniac crew leader Ridlen and Red Banner Lord Chi, you could buy the freedom of Quan Chi and Anton Romero. Just think, technical issues. You'd help clean the streets and, at the same time, give a happy ending to one of West Side's greatest love stories. I don't know if this is a greatest love story. Perhaps it only qualifies if the rest of the love stories in West Side are garbage. Ridlen is located in the basketball courts northeast of the docks in Maniac's territory. Clan Lord Chi is located northeast of WCOC television station in the Red Banner territory. Yeah, these guys are really easy enough to deal with. Although, so this is where Ridlen hangs out, and he only chills in one place. Like, he doesn't move, but the Red Banner clan lord circuits a building, and it can be kind of a pain trying to find him because the building is also surrounded by other members of the gang. Oh, there was another quest. What does he want me to do? You ready to stop pussyfooting around and get tough with those thugs in the cult of the Red Banner? Sure, Bert. Look, I'm just a regular Joe trying to make an honest living. And what do I get for my trouble? I'm hauling a load of microchips around for Cambridge Biotechnologies, when my rig is shanghaied by a bunch of Viper creeps. Why don't you pay them a visit and show them this sort of behavior won't be tolerated in Millenium City? Be sure and tell them old Bert Jackson sent you. My rig's named the Pork Rind Express, and you can find her northeast of the WCOC television station. Okay. It's more or less the same area. to go to. Wait, have I been thinking about this all wrong this whole time? So this is the WCOC building, and northwest. Oh yeah, okay, that's... Wait, that's not west. It's north, sure. But if anything, that's east. Unless this is north? This direction? So... more west than north, if anything. Okay. No, this will be the Pork Rind Express, won't it? I thought, I could have sworn that the old quest text for this was that the Viper were press ganging members of the Asian community in Chinatown here. But it looks like that's changed now. I don't remember whether this was here before. I think it was. But... oh, what luck. There's the clan lord we're after. So ordinarily he circuits this building, and there are Red Banner clan members all around it, so searching for him, particularly when the game doesn't draw people in. Oh, that means that we're up against an edge of the map. Anyway, let's fight this dude. Not terribly difficult. So this direction must be... wait, why is it doing that? Yeah, the border of the map is in a strange place. And it's not consistent either, because it goes, I think it goes like this, and then like this, or like this. This would be easier to discover if I was using my jet bike, but I'm not going to bother doing that because finding the edges of the map is not what one might call story related, and that is broadly speaking what the purpose of this stream is. So a bit difficult to feel threatened or take them seriously. Feel threatened by or take Viper seriously when their colour scheme is neon yellow and green. Or, well, in this case, yellow, red and black. But This is quite impressive. I'm not quite sure how it's supposed to have happened. Or who was supposed to have been capable of doing it. But, I mean, the really impressive thing is how strong the trailer is. I mean, it's supporting the weight of a car and a telephone pole. Or maybe it's an electricity pole. So maybe whoever pushed this over just felt like spearing a car whilst they were about it. Can I damage the trailer? Yes. What happens if I do that? Oh, it's in the building. Okay. Oh, I can damage the car as well. Clean up the street a little bit. That's gone. Can I target the pole? No. That's a little bit disappointing. I tell you what is really impressive is however strong this wall must be. I mean, I thought previously that the telephone pole was being supported by the trailer, but no, it's the building. Oh, trailer's back. Hi there. Done yet? No, I still got one guy to beat up. Okay. Oops. I just destroyed his van. Or truck, I suppose. I'll just pretend that that was destroyed when I found it. Hey, welcome back. I can see it in your eyes, technical issues. Underneath that tough exterior, you're a big softie, and that's why you did all you could to help Quan and Anton together. Don't worry, I won't say anything, but I bet your secret identity's movie flicks queue is full of chick flicks and romantic comedies. Admit it, technical issues. No, I did it for the XP and for the reward. Oh, that's awkward. Character screen would ordinarily show a portrait of your character, but this is not the face of someone who likes chick flicks. Oops. Thanks for dealing with those Viper creeps, and there better not be a single scratch on the Pork Rind Express. About that. It was like that when I found it. Or old Bert Jackson is going to march back over there and unleash an entire can of kick butt. You didn't even go over there the first time. Unless it was you who was throwing phone poles through cars. You vandal. What else do I have to do? Rescue the researchers. Okay, let's do that. Oops, no. Where the hell am I supposed to go? Ah, here. Okay. So this is Grond. That's Medusa. That's Foxbat, who we've fought already. We will fight her later, and Grond is a bit much to deal with for one character. He's usually a roaming boss in the Arizona area. I think you have to put together at least a dungeon team, but probably a raid team to deal with him. So I won't be fighting him, certainly not alone. You know, I've never understood why there are just stood up bottles throughout this map. You tend to like kick them over, send them flying. That's a kidnapped researcher. I don't think that knocking over all the bottles is a secret achievement. Achievements tend to be pretty simple in this game, and yeah, I don't think that knocking over every bottle is one of them. Although it would be a fun idea if it were. Anyway. Yeah, so I've mentioned before, but the Black Aces are heavily inspired by the gang from the Clockwork Orange. You can see it most clearly in their makeup. They expanded it quite a lot, like the design aesthetics of the gang. They expanded quite a lot so that they had a bunch of different models for like different types of mob. But there are more references to Clockwork Orange within the gang later. I mean, when we see the leader, we'll really see another big reference. Unfortunately, it's not actually possible to pick up objects. Well, I mean, I can pick up a crate, but doing so removes the ability to attack with anything other than the crate. So, I mean, I guess that I could carry this crate to the end of the map, but I wouldn't be able to attack anything on the way, and also I have no way of putting it down safely. Like, the only thing I can do with it is throw like this. I was hoping that the auto-target would target one of these guys with the crate, but it didn't seem to. It seems to have just hit the side of this shipping container, which I don't know much about the internal workings of the Black Aces, but you'd think that they would have noticed a huge crate zip by and smash into the side of this shipping container. It really amuses me how oblivious mobs can be if exactly the right stimulus isn't given to them. So I think I mentioned before when in a previous edition or previous, I don't know how to refer to it, but on a previous stream I expressed the thought that researchers and scientists in a universe like this probably have how to survive hostage situations as part of their like doctoral thesis training. because I have to imagine that it happens an awful lot. Although maybe it depends on area of study. Maybe like people who study cheese bacteria don't, except for like one supervillain who specializes in cheeses. Did I just see Spill It Nerd? I don't know what they're supposed to be asking them for. He really is a nerd, isn't he? Look, he's got a receding hairline and everything. Doesn't have glasses that would really push him over into super nerdom. The first time I did this mission, I had no idea how to progress, but there's, for some reason, a sewer grate, like a huge, round sewer cover, manhole cover, just in the floor in this warehouse. I'm sure it's shiny when you get close to it, but that's only if you get close to it, you know that it's there, and you get it within field of vision. And once again, we're within the classic, well, standard, I suppose, absurdly spacious sewers that all superhero universe sewers seem to be designed along. I've remarked on this before, but I'm not totally sure how sewage is actually supposed to... Sorry, I think my moustache is actually getting hairs up inside my nose and irritating inside of my nose. So I'm not actually sure. I mean, you can just about see like a flow of water here, but that's not coming in from like a dedicated grate or anything. It's just flowing from a burst seam or whatever. Like this is called a sewer, but there aren't grates around or really anywhere for sewage to flow. I mean, I guess that this counts, but this doesn't look like any sewer I've ever seen. Any real sewer, anyway. I mean, I guess I've seen this and it's technically called a sewer, so maybe it counts. But really, it's more like an underground, hermetically sealable bunker system. It's just been abandoned so that people can build cardboard cities inside. I'll get a perk later that allows me to summon 3 ball lightning dudes at once. 4. Yeah. A little unclear on how people take the word dude. I use it and mean it as a gender neutral term, but I'm pretty sure that it started out as an entirely masculine denoting word, and certainly people take it as a masculine word. But to be clear, I am not referring to a ball of lightning as any particular gender. Because aside from that being absurd, I don't think that a ball of lightning, even one that can move from target to target, is sapient enough to have the concept of a gender. Another one of my favourite things in the game happened just then. This guy initiated a lunge attack that launched him at me, but died as it initiated. So he just kind of flung his, we're going to say, unconscious body at me. Yeah, I'm choosing to believe that I'm merely knocking all of these people unconscious, not actually killing them. I mean, you can kind of use electricity as a non-lethal or less than lethal takedown method. But I don't think that huge arcs, visible arcs of lightning like this, can really be imagined to be non-lethal. I'm just believing that they are because we later meet people that we have taken down with them, and they're perfectly fine. True. Yes, if the balls of lightning that I launch are sapient, they have reached maximum enlightenment and have no need for gender anyway. Also, when they are finished being present, they explode, so I kind of hope that they're not sapient because of the implication that they expend themselves in a suicide attack. Greetings, technical issues. Yes, I am a being of pure thought, a creation of remarkable advances in artificial intelligence. But that does not make me any less pleased to see you. Okay. Wonderful. The researchers have all checked in with the MCPD and are accounted for. Did you know that being a researcher is one of the most hazardous jobs one can hold in this city? I didn't, but I suspected it. Statistically, the only population group that has more trouble with both kidnappings and supervillainy are heroes such as yourself. Yeah, makes sense. I wonder if they have kidnapping insurance? Gunning for control of West Side. It has come to my attention that, unfortunately, a couple of crates of QLAR weapons have made it to the streets. Since there are so few left, only the higher-ups in the gang actually receive the weapons. Track down these Black Ace members and get those guns back. Yeah, that's pretty easy. The patrol area that they hang out in. In fact, that's one of them. So we're going to go and knock him out shortly. Despite valiant efforts by the MCPD to keep all the QLAR technology locked down, the Black Aces have managed to steal some QLAR weaponry during their recent raid of the high-security bunker. It is paramount that these weapons are not spread around. If such weapons were to be widely distributed, it is statistically improbable that the currently strained forces of the MCPD would be able to keep the Black Aces in check. Please head out to the docks in southwest and west side and destroy the weapons crates they are holding there. The Black Aces will not be distributing these out in the open, so check the shipping crates for any covert activity. Yep, okay. Now this is quite a long mission, and it recommends a team of 2. It is possible to do solo. I don't know whether a squishy glass cannon ranged DPS character like this could manage it solo, but we may give it a go in a later stream because it is a series of quests and it is quite long. So, biotechnical difficulties. As you know, I am hardwired into most major information networks in Millenium City. I just sensed an alarm at Cambridge Biotechnologies. I accessed the surveillance cameras to see an explosion in one of their laboratories, and mutated scientists running amok outside the lab. You need to contain this disaster, because I have yet to determine if what mutated these poor scientists is contagious. Collect 5 samples of each of the 3 ingredients needed to create an antidote, and then create the antidote with lab equipment that is located right by the front door of the lab. That's awfully convenient. Then use this antidote on mutated scientists to save them. You'll find the ingredients and the mutated scientists 4 blocks north of the city jail. Now, I know that antidote synthesis in comics is absurdly easy by normal standards, but finding 3 ingredients and the lab equipment necessary to synthesize that cure all in the same location and being capable of it despite any kind of, random background that your character might have chosen. Oh, nice. That's copyright infringement. I hope nobody notices that character, because it will be deleted. Yep. Well, I mean, strictly speaking, when you get there, they're not really running amok. They're just standing around, confused and slightly mutated. I mean, slightly mutated. That's an awfully loaded term to start slinging around, but they're still broadly human, which is, I suppose, good news in a superhero universe. But yeah, they're just hanging around, talking to one another. I mean, we'll see in a bit, probably. I mean, it depends on how long we've got left and whether I get over there. I mean, I think maybe I'll do this mission, then come up to the area with the biotechnical difficulties mission, just so that I get it in during this this stream. There's a dude walking around here. There we go. Oh, it's a bit more than just a pinky finger. It's like an arm and a leg. But they are still recognizably human. It's not like... I don't know if you ever watched the Middleman TV series, which the pilot episode had a lab experiment which accidentally mutated a whole bunch of scientists all together into a huge, like, conglomerate thing that then had to be killed because it went insane. But, like, they are still recognizably human, at least. How many of these have I got? Oh, this will be the last one. So, let's nip over to biotechnical issues. Here. Hey, Shirobi. No, not quite Akira levels of mutant, thankfully. And they're not even violent. They're just like hanging out, feeling hungry. Like, it's not pretty, but it's still recognizably human. Apparently they work for Viper, which should have been the first indicator. Like, Viper is clearly a stand-in for Cobra. No, I'm not going to kill them. I'm going to cure them with an incredibly convenient cure. So I need to collect 3 ingredients and then use lab equipment that's just hanging out outside the building to synthesize a cure to the mutations. They get cured and then they run off. Oh, this one's even got purple pants on. Yeah, thankfully there doesn't seem to be very much destroy them because they're dangerous in this game. Like, this is very much Silver Age comics, where everyone goes home safe at the end of the adventure. So even though I'm using electricity powerful enough to create visible arcs, and like quite big arcs as well, like even that would be a dangerous amount, but my second attack that I got is a pretty huge bolt of electricity. Everyone, like, the bodies fade out because after they fall over, but like the supervillains that you take out who are in control of the gangs, you meet them later during a prison break quest, and they're just fine. Like, exactly the same strength they were when you defeated them. In fact, probably a bit stronger, because you should have gotten stronger by the time you see them again, and they're still kind of a problem for you. I don't know that Viper is an evil corp so much as it's like an obviously villainous, like, terrorist group, akin to Cobra from Action Man or G.I. Joe. Oh, he's got a mission for me. Excuse me, but I just saw some guys sneak into that building over there, and I don't think they're supposed to be there. Please check it out. Where is he sending me? So he saw people sneaking into this building over here, wandered all the way over here to get cornered by some members of Cobra. Oh no, not Cobra. I don't think they're badly named. They're certainly themed after snakes, and later they've got like a special zone mission that takes ages, like several hours solo. You can't really see it here, but some of their helmets have got like actual snake theme iconography. And later you fight like a mystically summoned snake religion demigod who Viper kind of worship. Okay, so he's got Cobra Hood themed helmet. Yeah, it's quite a cool mission. It's kind of annoying because the villain that you fight, who's like empowered by this artifact, is super resilient. Like you can spend so long fighting her and taking her health down that you should really have defeated her by that point several times over. Viper Courier message. Serpent General, we have compiled a thorough analysis of Viper research on the extraterrestrial Kular. Our researched Area 51 in the southwestern desert has yielded some particularly fascinating results, and we are sharing the results of the Kular autopsies with our biogenetics divisions worldwide. We estimate we can replicate the Kular cartilaginous exoskeleton and carapaces to create improved Red Dragon body armor within 5 years, though our efforts to incorporate Kular biotechnology has yet to produce satisfying results. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen complications in Slither Beach, our Monster Island Viper facility will be unable to deliver the first clutch of genetically engineered giant monsters as scheduled. We've concluded this is largely the fault of superheroic interference and recommend the nest leader Tadataka Yamamoto be given a 6-month extension to get back on schedule or face summary execution. Monster Island is a place that we'll get to later and is where Dr. Moreau conducted experiments on... Now, I'm not sure whether they were initially human or animal, but they are now manimal, so basically humanoid animals or furries. And there's kind of a civil war going on between the manimals, between ones who want to take over the world and ones who just want to chill. And you help the chill ones. Okay, so I do need this. It's kind of annoying that the flashy silver sheen over quest objectives doesn't always show up when you're a reasonable distance away. How many have I got to... Which one do I need? Is it more of the boxes? No, it's not. They're not all mammals. There are some bird ones, at least. I don't know if they're reptilian manimals. But there are avian ones, so it's not limited to mammals. What's... Oh right, create antidote. Just got a hand in over here because, oh right, that's where there's a Socrates outpost. No, they're not Kenku, they're vultures. A little bit disappointing. And they can actually fly, unlike Kenku. So this is apparently the lab that I'm creating or synthesizing the cure in. Or lab equipment, which is quite impressive because it's just a big cylinder. Now what I do is I go up to each of these, or well, 5 of them, inject them with a cure, and then instantly they're back to normal. Like, they don't have to go through physical therapy to recover from having their limbs mutated, or even like the loss of digits. They're perfectly fine. This isn't really... he's got claws. Look at that. And I don't know what that's referred to as, but like a toe on the back of his foot. This is beyond science. Like, this is science fantasy. This isn't science fiction anymore. So I've got some quest hand-ins and some more missions over here, but it's just about 10 o'clock, so that means I am going to stop streaming. Yeah, no stretch marks either. Like, well, as far as we can see, I mean, I didn't investigate, and we also didn't see, like, the character models aren't high detail enough, I don't think. But probably not any stretch marks. So the next missions that we've got are over here to save MCPD police officers from being tied up and thrown into the river. And inside some of these shipping containers are some weapons crates that hold alien weaponry that we're supposed to destroy. Oh, it's cool. I'm just glad you're here. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate everyone that shows up. At the moment, my plan is to stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 to 10. The only time that would change is when we go back to normal GMT rather than British summertime, which complicates things when talking internationally about time. I might change the stream to be longer or to happen earlier, but I'm not planning to at the moment. So currently streams will be regularly spaced, fairly reasonably timed, and 2 hours each. Yeah, I've played this a whole lot. Like, this came out in 2009, and I played it initially at the time. I wasn't terribly good at it. Not that I'm claiming to be good at it now, but they have updated it a lot, and I've gotten better at playing games in general. So I have a few max level characters, and I've always been amused by all the references that fill the game, because this is a very reference heavy game. Like, we've fought Red Banner cult guys who are a nod to Big Trouble in Little China, and there are also references to They Live and The Thing, certainly. So quite big fans of Carpenter films. But there was a mission earlier that we went on called Kung Fu Muscle, as a nod to Kung Fu Hustle. Unfortunately, there weren't very much more references to Kung Fu Hustle, because that's a fantastic film. But yeah, this is a hugely culture referential game, and there are parts of it, like the synthesis of the cure for the mutated scientists, that are just kind of absurd, and I wanted to share with other people, because they amused me and made me scratch my head, and I thought that would tickle some other people as well. So I'm glad that you've enjoyed it, and that well, I'm glad that both of you seem to have enjoyed it. My 2 watchers for this evening. I have recorded each of the streams, but I haven't been uploading them. I wasn't sure whether I was going to or not. I mean, the previous streams should still be available on Twitch as VODs. Because I think that Twitch stores VODs for like a couple of weeks. But I guess tomorrow or after I'm done today, I will ask on Twitter and Facebook whether people would want me to upload these to YouTube. I can't promise that they'll be terribly interesting or entertaining. I mean, I've done my best, but this is my 3rd stream, well, 4th stream ever. But do you. I will say goodnight for today, and I hope that everyone out there, not just the 2 people who I'm talking to in chat, but everyone who watches this later, is having a good week.